So in this video, we're just gonna stop the cap, okay? There's no capping going on. What it is, what it ain't, it's your girl Ombre Alert, and I am back with another video, okay? In today's video, we are going to really talk about street style, and not in the way that some of you may think. And I'm only going to say some of you, because a lot of you should understand where I'm coming from in this video. If you haven't noticed, my Instagram name is Street Style Ombre, and that really is my Instagram name because I love street style fashion. I feel like it's the most dominant style of fashion as of the year 2022, and even 10 years ago, 20 years ago, street style fashion has been the wave and the way of dressing since the early 80s and the birth of hip-hop. So if you're ready to get into this video and talk a little bit about fashion, then let's get into it. It's Ombre Alert. You already know I'm here to grace you with some history as well as talk about a little style or whatever. So let's do it. Okay, originally I was just browsing, and I think I saw someone on TikTok talk a little bit about this, and I was like, I didn't initially plan on doing a video, but at the same time, this video is long overdue. I'm basically going to talk about this article. I don't even know if the article is worth mentioning because it was just all cap. I read an article basically talking about street style fashion and what the origin of it was, and they were saying that street style fashion originated in British culture and it started back in the 1800s, and I think that that's cap. I do not think that street style fashion originated with European and or white culture. Everything is not influenced by white people. A lot of things are influenced by white people because they are the wealthy race, I would say. As society, they run society, they run the government, so they're pretty much in charge. So that's the only reason why a lot of things that they influence are in society. That's literally the only reason. But when it comes to culture and fashion, I feel like that is a Black and Hispanic influence pure. I mean, from the food, from the way we dress, from the way we talk, and Asian people as well. When it comes to culture, we're doing it, and when it comes to the dominant minority, it's going to be Black people all day long. Hispanic and Spanish people are very close, as well as Asian people, especially with fashion. The Asian community is definitely leading in fashion because they're really the production and the force behind a lot of where we get all of our clothes. That the Asians are the main manufacturers of the fashion, and in which how we get our clothes, that completely goes to them, but how it's being worn is Black people for show. And not saying that like it's a competition. I do feel like all minorities have the proper influence, and all minorities are really putting it on and dressing well. But when it comes to like street fashion, I feel like that is completely influenced by the majority Black community because of the influence of hip-hop. Hip-hop originated in the late 70s to the early 80s, and it really broke out in New York City by way of the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? So as New York started it off, it started to trickle down to Philly, to Detroit, to DC, to Virginia, then across the country to LA. And I'm not saying it in no particular order, but I do believe that hip-hop originated on the East Coast, and then it quickly shifted over to LA. It definitely migrated to LA, Compton, Long Beach, all those predominantly Black communities. Went from the hoods of New York to the hoods of the East Coast to the hoods of California, then to the mid region of the United States and down to the South. Hip hop has taken over the world. It continues to be the leading top music genre today. And I feel like a lot of the influence comes from hip hop and its biggest stars, including Tupac, Biggie, Diddy, LL Cool J, Ice Cube, Ice-T, Faith Evans, Jay-Z, Nas, Janet Jackson, Salt and Pepper, Mary J. Blige, Lil' Kim. I could go on, but I don't want to miss certain people. TLC, who else? Escape, 702. All the girl groups especially were really like dressing so well, so street. And I really feel like all of the influence, it comes from the hood, you know? Like, most of the people that have come to the hip-hop community were from the hood. And they were talking about hood issues. Hip-hop was a way for black people to express what was going on in the ghettos of the United States. And how we dress is a reflection of our environment, whether it's for survival, whether it's for warmth, whether it's for protection, even if it's just to be a little thirsty, you know what I'm saying? Our style comes from our environment, and that's really the ghetto. And a lot of people that don't come from the ghetto, they come from the suburbs, you know, they watch Yo MTV Raps, they watch VH1, they watch BT, they see what's going on with hip-hop, they see that hip-hop is going crazy, everybody wants to be a rapper, and, you know, the hip-hop culture is really dominant in the United States. And a lot of people from the suburbs are heavily influenced by that, to the point where they're trying to find some authenticity, and in that they try to adopt the way that black people dress. And you can tell when it's not authentic, and I see it all the time. I see white people dress, try to dress in streetwear and street clothes, and it just doesn't look right to me. It doesn't look right, and it just looks like you just look like a Slim Shady, if that makes sense. You just look like you don't belong, or you're trying to adopt a culture that's not yours. And I see that a lot. Literally, you can go on Pinterest and type in street style, and a bunch of white people will pull up. It'll pull up. They'll have blazers on and sneakers, and not authentic at all. Like, you can tell it almost looks like cosplay, you know, when you dress up as a character. Looks to me, it just looks completely just unnatural. And I feel like it's even more rude because it's like a lot of people travel. As y'all all know, I'm from Washington, D.C., so a lot of people are tourists when they come here. But you have to see how people live to get people's perspective. And one thing you shouldn't want to do is kind of like step on people's toes. And in some countries, that's okay. Like, you could dress like them and they see that as respect. And I know that those values are different. But when you come to the hood and you dress like you from here and we know you're not, it's kind of insulting to us, because it makes us feel like we can't have anything that's ours. I mean, I can even say some examples of other types of style that are predominantly white. For the hip-hop era, there was hippies, punks, goths, and bikers, and most of those were white, of the white community, you know. And that's how the white community dress. And it's okay to this day for us to point those types of style out. But when we go to street style and we really want to recognize that this is our style, this is how we dress, it's like, no, it's not. You know, it's okay for these like old money fashion, you know, high-end fashion brands to, you know, copy you know, street style. Like Tommy Hilfiger, for example, he even admitted to literally going around to the hood in New York and like basically taking how they dressed and incorporating that into his fashion. And he knew it was going to hit. He knew it was going to sell. And unfortunately, it just made us look bad. You know what I'm saying? Um and let me just be clear, we look good in anything. You hear that somebody is literally just rolling around in your neighborhood just so they could like study you, just to steal. I mean, is that not Christopher Columbus like? What's the difference? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between Christopher Columbus and Tommy Hilfiger? He literally rolled around the hood to see how black people was dressing, and he stole it and put it right in his, you know, fashion line, and then got Aaliyah on there, got Usher on there, got Snoop Dogg on there, and he made millions of dollars off of the hip hop community, off of the hip hop culture. And he probably don't even like black people. And most of them don't. Most of them don't like black people. Most of them are scared of black people. But they are comfortable stealing everything that we have. And I just really wanted to point out that street style fashion, street style wear comes from black people, from the hood. Even if it's black people that's not from the hood, it's black people in general that's cultured. You don't have to be from the hood to be cultured. I just want to make that clear. I'm not trying to discriminate against anybody that's not from the hood that's black. I'm just saying that, you know, cultured black people dress this way out of comfortability. A lot of people wear, you know, thicker clothes and layer clothes in the wintertime because it's cold, you know. And especially in New York, it's very cold. So a lot of people back in those times, in the 80s and the 90s, wore bigger clothes so that they could put more clothes on because of the cold temperature. Especially nowadays, I feel like we mix and match a lot of athleisure into our streetwear. I would say it's a lot of structure to it. You know, it doesn't have to be this way or that. It's really all in how you make it, and it's truly individual. Like, I incorporate a lot of 90s inspired things in my wardrobe. A lot of it is geared towards me and my personality and how I'm feeling that day. And honestly, I think I made this up in my research. I think the people who do street style the best are unique in how they dress. So an example, or you know, just a little background I could say of street style in my life is like how I grew up. I was poor, you know, I didn't really have anything growing up. All my parents could afford was, you know, the little basic stuff. And I used to rock Payless a lot when I was a kid, and I used to have one pair of shoes a lot of the time that I used for everything: school, going outside playing, all of that. Everybody else, you know, they grew up different. Like, they had more stuff than me. They had the latest shoes. They had the coats and all of that. And the New Balance. New Balance is like the shoe of DC. If they say it's for Maryland or Virginia, they wrong. But anyway, everybody had the New Balances or the new Nikes, and I never had shoes like that. I literally got my first pair of Jordans when I was like 20. 21 or 22 or something like that. And that was because I had a job. But anyway, in DC, a lot of people dress the same, and within their street style, they dress the same. And for me, you know, I'm 27. You have this on and you know how to dress, or you don't have this on and you know how to dress. To me, it's not like that. For me, I feel like a lot of people in DC want acceptance from other people, that they can dress. And me, I don't care about that. I don't care about having the exact same coat that everybody else wears. Everybody has a bubble coat on now, for the winter time, and I guarantee you next winter it'll be the same, because that's what's culturally accepted. But for me, I don't care about that. I'm gonna wear what coat I like, and I want it to be different because I like when people look at me and they admire how I dress because it's different. For example, if everyone has on this patent leather black bubble coat, and I have on a ski jacket or a ski coat that's not black, but that's like a dark gray, people are going to look at me a little bit longer than they would look at somebody that has on a patent leather puffer coat, because it's something that's expected. And within street style, it's so much to do. It's so much you can do. You can play with patterns, you can play with materials, you can play with different colored, like, tones of colors. I can honestly say that the 90s and the hip-hop has influenced the way I like to dress. I like a lot of the women back in the 90s because they were so classy. They were so hood, but they were beautiful. And I feel like that's a reflection of me and my siblings and my sisters. I feel like we're just so beautiful, and sometimes the most beautiful people come from the worst environments. And I feel like if you show that you're still beautiful and that you're confident, even growing up in such a harsh environment, I feel like that shows a lot of power. Black people, we've created so many things, you know, and we've revolutionized who we are as a people. And one way we do that is through our music and through the way that we dress. And you can look it up, and people can make these articles that say it comes, street style fashion comes from the British culture and European culture, but it is not true. Street style fashion comes from the United States, and it comes from black people in the United States, from majority hoods, the hoods of America, to hip hop. And you know, people are very fascinated with the smoothness of black people within hip hop and within the hood. People are very fascinated, even more fascinated than you might think. I just wanted to get this video out there. I am going to be doing more videos, you know, about the 90s and about DC coming up. So make sure you stay tuned. It's your girl, Ombre Alert. Make sure you comment below your thoughts on this video. If you have some examples of how you dress, or people that you like that dress with street style fashion very well. I could say off the top of my head, Rihanna, Tiana Taylor, basically all the dudes. I already named the stars from the 90s, but as of today, I would say Rihanna, Tiana Taylor, Chris Brown, Tyga, who else? King Combs, Diddy's son, and really all the young black dudes that are in their you know, below their 30s, 30 and below, or 30 something and below, I would say, know how to dress street style very well. Minus the ones that dress with the really tight jeans. I don't understand why dudes these days have really tight jeans, but I don't like that. I don't like the really tight jeans at all. Like, I mean, I could see the veins in their legs. That's how tight the jeans are. They look like leggings. But anyway, comment below your thoughts on this topic. I will see you in the next video. Make sure you stay tuned, because we got more on the way. We're on the road to 600 subscribers. Let's get it. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.